Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Going SSJ video. If you saw the first one, you'll know that these are, like, completely different than my, main philosophy videos. It's a lot more of a, persona, a little bit snarky and condescending. It's kind of like basically just commentary channel persona, honestly. So, that's not something that's up your alley. Just, you don't have to watch this video. Alright, guys, let's get into it. So, today, we're gonna talk about a BuzzFeed article. Now, just saying that sentence makes me want to kill myself. But let's keep going. It's entitled, "This lecturer had a psychiatric evaluation after tweeting about shooting, quote, random white people." The Rutgers College lecturer told BuzzFeed News that the tweet, in my opinion, is not a threat. First of all, a tweet that says, "Will the Second Amendment be as cool when I buy a gun and start shooting at random white people or no?" is definitely a threat of violence. Even if it was meant in a sarcastic way. You can't read tone through a medium like Twitter. The reason that his house was visited by the police is because they legitimately thought that it was a terroristic threat, if it was meant sarcastically or not. Don't know if it was meant sarcastically or not, but that's definitely, although he may not think so, he just drank too much of the social justice Kool-Aid, I guess, to put two and two together and say, "Hey, is that a normal thing to say? Does that sound like it's inciting violence or hinting at something I'm thinking about doing?" I mean, seriously, either this guy was just blissfully unaware that this tweet would be seen. He just tweeted it out just purely because, he thought nobody would see it, or he's just so dumb that he thinks it wasn't a terroristic threat or a good reason at all for the police to visit his household. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. So, let's actually get in the article here. New York police officers took a Rutgers University lecturer to a hospital for psychiatric evaluation Tuesday night after he tweeted a provocative question about the Second Amendment, which authorities viewed as a threat to kill white people. Once again, completely justified. The tweet straight up says, "When I buy a gun and start shooting at random white people." Like, you can't rationalize your way out of this one, dude. Kevin Allred, who is white, believes the inquiry was a result of him asking if conservatives would care as much about the Second Amendment if guns killed more white people. Okay, so what he's basically trying to get at is, if conservatives would be more in line with the gun control movement if more white people were killed. Which I think he could have just said straight up, rather than adding in that little smidgen of a threat in the end, or, and he said it as in, like, relating to himself, so that's obviously the reason why the cops came to his house. If you were to have worded it differently and said someone gets a gun and starts shooting at random white people, there would be no psychiatric evaluation and no NYPD visit to his household. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn obvious that he just worded this in such a way that it seemed like a threat. Okay, let's keep going. An NYPD spokesperson confirmed to BuzzFeed News that the threatening language prompted the investigation. There it goes. That's exactly what was the problem with the tweet. He doesn't understand what the problem with the tweet was, but that's the problem, the threatening language. It sounds like a terroristic threat. Even if it wasn't intended to be a terroristic threat, it sounds like one. I mean, you can't rationalize your way out of it. There is no way to get out of that one. I mean, he basically did it to himself, honestly. Rutgers police contacted the 94th precinct and requested a wellness check be conducted on the professor based on comments he made in the classroom and on Twitter about killing white people. So according to this, he's also made comments in the classroom. I don't know the context of those, so they're alleged, so I can't really go into those, but police said in a statement, based on these comments, he was transported to Bellevue Hospital for psychological evaluation. Once again, very justified. Allred began tweeting around 10:30 p.m. Tuesday when the NYPD arrived at his house. NYPD just came to my house because Rutgers police told them I'm a threat. Yeah, that's not grammatically correct, sir. Based on political statements I've made on campus and on Twitter. Yeah. Told them I am a threat. Sorry. So, basically, once again, he said, will the Second Amendment be as cool when I pick up a gun and start shooting at random white people? Like, I know he can't wrap his brain around it, but that is a terroristic threat. Or it sounds like a terroristic threat, even if it wasn't meant to be a terroristic threat. I mean, you can't get out of that. You think, oh, it's my right not to be psychologically evaluated. If something you say is considered a terroristic threat, then yes, the police department has the right to force you to go through psychiatric evaluation. That's just how it is. I mean, I'm not advocating for a police state or lack of free speech, but seriously, that's a terroristic threat. And the funny thing about this is now this is gonna kill his whole social justice, white people get away with everything shit. Because we know he believes that. All the fucking BuzzFeed social justice fucking plebes believe that. I mean, alright, so let's keep going. Authorities eventually took Allred's phone, but he resumed tweeting around 11:30 p.m., calling his experience proof positive that Trump's crackdown on free speech has already begun. Firstly, Trump, although as much as I hate him, as much as I want to fucking... as much as I hate that guy, as much as I don't want him to be our president, this isn't a crackdown on free speech. Trump can't even crack down on anything yet. He's not even in office. This happened when Obama's in office. And it's not like Obama has no power. He's doing so many things right now. If you've heard about, the ban of offshore drilling in the Atlantic, which can't be overturned because he used some nice tactics going back to, I forget exactly what the name of it is, but it was some document from 1952, which he basically banned the U.S. completely, all corporations, from drilling offshore in the Atlantic, all American oil corporations, which, I mean, that just shows that he still has power. Trump has no power right now. Trump's just a figurehead until, January 19th? So let's keep going. Allred wrote that even the doctors thought it was ridiculous. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a recording of the doctor saying it was ridiculous. To have him undergo the evaluation and called the process an intimidation tactic. No, it's not an intimidation tactic. You made an idiotic comment on Twitter. You weren't thinking, and it turned out that the comment could be read as a terroristic threat. The police take these things very seriously. I mean, as a country, we've gone through so many terrorist attacks that it would be criminal if the police didn't take stuff like this seriously. Alright. According to Alred, one of the doctors told him, politicians say much worse on live television with no repercussions, and they choose to waste resources bringing him in. Yeah, that's not a waste of resources. Once again, it's a fucking terroristic threat. It was considered a terroristic threat. It sounds like a terroristic threat. I mean, it's not like he said someone. He said I. Like, he was referring to himself when he said that. Alright. Although he deleted the original tweet, which was posted on November 9th, Alred on Tuesday explained the comments he said were flagged to police. But according to a source familiar with the case, the original tweet specifically referenced Alred buying a gun and shooting at random white people, which there's a screenshot of. You can't get out of that one. Alred has also tweeted, if I see any Trump bumper stickers on the road today, my brakes will go out and I'll run you off the road. Once again, guy is either just like anger issues, or he's sarcastic on Twitter and doesn't know when to stop pushing the envelope. But yeah, it seems like he has a history of making these big claims. But the police just didn't have any knowledge of it, so that's why they took him in. So there's a screenshot of that tweet. Okay. And a message to BuzzFeed News. Alred admitted that the tweet was incendiary, provocative for sure, but in my opinion, not a threat. It was in the context of a whole bunch of tweets about the election, and the issues raised in it meant to show people's reasons as holding double standards. He added that, obviously it's Twitter, so it was curt and meant to provoke for a purpose. Yeah, don't use Twitter to be a provocateur. Use a blog or a forum. Twitter is this big open website, and first of all, you can't even write a paragraph on Twitter. Like, seriously. Man, once again, faulty reasoning. Okay, so that's that. And he also tweeted in 2015 that there are no good white people. So apparently, according to him, he's not a good person. Makes a lot of sense. At least he's self-aware. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow.